I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that. So, but as of right now, I have to put Terence.
Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, was you know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, boss, keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his.
Floyd Mayweather stopped by to work out with Terence Crawford. As he gets ready for his match with Canelo Alvarez, Mayweather praised his talent and work ethic, calling Crawford the top fighter in the world today. Their tough training together showed real respect in Floyd's trust in Crawford's power to take over the big event.
Right now, in your opinion, who's the best fighter in the world?
We can put Tank up there in the top 10 in pound for pound. He has to be somewhere in pound for pound. And Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion. Something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that. So, but as of right now, I have to put Terence Crawford as number one.
Crawford recently opened up about a private chat he had with Floyd Mayweather. He said Floyd didn't just flatter him, he gave real fight advice and some strong motivation. Mayweather said Crawford is skilled, but warned him about Canelo's toughness. Floyd told him to stay smart and stay sharp. Their conversation was serious, helpful, and focused on being ready.
That's a big boy. He's strong. You know, you box good. You can do this. You got this over him. You're gonna have to tight up this. You're gonna have to do this. You know, it's a conversation. It's not just, oh man, you'll whoop his ass. You'll do this to him. It's never like
yes
that.
Man type
You
stuff.
know what I mean? It's like, hey, listen, you know, that's a dangerous fight, you know, but
that's the fight.
If it happened, you know.
When these two legends met, it didn't go unnoticed. Fans and reporters quickly reacted online, making it a hot topic. The image of a rising star and a retired great working side by side was powerful. Many saw it as more than training, a sign of respect, mentorship, and maybe Mayweather passing the torch to Crawford.
Floyd.
Congratulations, man.
In a strong comment, Mayweather brought up Canelo's old doping talk, saying the media gives him a pass. Floyd hinted that some boxers don't get called out like others do. He said there's a clear double rule in the sport. His remarks started debates online, with fans either backing him or saying he caused more drama.
But what we don't talk about is, you know, Canelo. Steroids. They don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. He could have been not clean in a lot of fights.
Thinking back to his fight with Canelo, Floyd remembered going into the ring much lighter, about 151 or 150 pounds. Even with that size gap, Mayweather outsmarted Canelo using defense and timing. It was a lesson in how brains can beat muscle. That night reminded the world Floyd didn't win by force, but with his sharp skills.
After Canelo made the weight, it wasn't like it was a certain clause to where he couldn't gain weight. So after he weighed 152 or 152 and a half, I think he came in like 168 or close to 170. And actually I came in at probably like I probably came in at 151 and 152.
Gotcha.
But Roy Jones is one hell of a fighter. You know, I can't get on here and hate on his skills, and knock his skills. He's been through a lot in the sport of boxing, and he's done a lot for the sport of boxing.
Since his early days, Crawford has looked up to Floyd not just for boxing talent, but for how he built a lasting legacy. That respect turned into real friendship. Where Floyd sometimes gives him advice, Crawford takes those tips seriously, using them to improve. Their connection shows two men with big goals and real respect.
But I know how you is. You be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, boss, keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fighting.
Yeah.
I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
But you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd, nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, to beat his ass. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plotting.
I ain't never been that type of person ever.
Crawford is pushing himself hard right now to get ready for a huge challenge. Every move he makes, whether it's working on his feet or hitting the pad, shows he's fully locked in. Training clips show he's not just putting in effort, he's being smart too. His plan is all about preparing for someone strong and experienced. In camp, Crawford's lower body workouts are getting extra attention. He does tough drills like squats and lunges to build explosive power. These workouts help him stay fast and balanced in the ring. His leg strength lets him glide and stay steady. Every bit of sweat shows how serious he is about fine-tuning his whole body. Crawford's sparring clips reveal how sharp his boxing brain is against guys copying Canelo's moves. He uses his jab to control the pace and land shots. He doesn't just jab to keep distance, he jabs to break rhythm. And with his switch hitting style, it's clear Crawford is stepping in with a tricky and thoughtful plan.
Watch the right hand for the decoy.
Y'all know chess? Fisher versus Spassky? Two of the best, you understand? That's what you watching. Two of the best. That's how Star work. You know how to work. You know how to get the most out of everything. Good job, Chad.
Promoter Eddie Hearn shared a story about stopping by a gym where he saw something special. A surprise visit turned into a moment where he watched Floyd and Crawford connect. Eddie said he'd seen Floyd before, but this time the vibe was different. There were laughs, deep talk, and even some jokes. It showed Crawford's fun side too.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement. If you're Terence Crawford in that fight, the last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
You know.
Crawford hasn't dodged the people doubting him, he's facing them straight on. Instead of backing away from talk about size and power, he accepts it and moves forward. To him, it's all part of the journey. He's not just stepping into. Show up, he's going in to prove he belongs, to win big, and to quiet all the noise.
That's a fight because of the challenge. I love the challenges. And I love the people that, I hear them now. You too little. You know, Canelo gonna break you. He's gonna stop you. You come from 147, that weight too big, this and that. I can hear it now. And that just excites me to go in there and just be like, okay, let me prove him wrong once again.
That fight would be gigantic. If Canelo gets through Jermell and then you guys fight, that fight would be gigantic.
And it's crazy because, like, in the past interviews, I was like, man, Canelo too big, man. It's weight classes for a reason. I was like, nah, But in my mind, in my heart, I don't think nobody too big.
Mayweather recently shared some serious thoughts on Crawford's upcoming battle with Canelo. He used his own past experience as a guide and said the fight isn't about being reckless. Instead, Floyd said a smart and focused plan is key. With his perfect record and top-level knowledge, Mayweather's advice added real value to the talk.
Terence Crawford jumping up from 154 to 168 and beating this quote-unquote version of Canelo Alvarez would diminish the accomplishment that Floyd Mayweather accomplished beating his version of Canelo Alvarez. Is it two different versions of Canelo Alvarez? And obviously, Canelo Alvarez is 62 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is obviously bigger. When Floyd fought him, it was at 152 catch weight, but it had no rehydration clause. So you might as well just say it was at 154. Now, two things they have in common is that Floyd Mayweather was 36, 37 years of age. Terence Crawford is 37 years of age, going on 38. So he'll be 38 when he fights Canelo Alvarez. Floyd had already had 2 fights at 154. He had the fight with Miguel Cotto, and he had the fight with Oscar De La Hoya.
Teddy Atlas, a well-known boxing voice, asked a big question. Can Crawford move fast enough to outwit Canelo? Since Canelo is known for closing gaps and throwing heavy punches, Atlas believes Crawford's footwork might be the answer. The real question is, can Canelo match Crawford's rhythm, or will Crawford keep dancing out of danger?
Come on, he's human. So he had a few hiccups. He won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, "Oh, Teddy, you make him so good. You're always saying how great Crawford is." But who's he beating? He unified the what was his first division? Lightweight. Then he unified the junior. Then he unified the junior welter, then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right. It doesn't matter. He unified like 3 different weight classes. He moved up in weight.
Crawford's trainer, Bomac, replied after Canelo brushed off Crawford's past wins. Bomac said people forget how easily Crawford beat top names like Porter, Brook, and Gamboa. He added that Crawford never looks for shortcuts or unfair edges. He always fights fair. That shows Crawford's focus isn't Trix's lasting greatness.
Guys are tired of me saying it. I look at him. Look, Canelo's special too. I get it. And he's bigger. I get that too. And everyone's going to say, well, after Madrimore fight again, had a couple hiccups. Now he's stepping up another weight class. Now he's got to fight Canelo, who's even bigger, stronger, better puncher. A unified champion that he's been. All of that stuff. He's not going to be able to handle it. I asked this question. See, I go to the other side. I say, okay, yeah, can Canelo handle the smaller guy who's going to be faster, who's going to be slicker, who's going to be better defensively, who's going to have better legs, who's going to be able, sometimes Canelo at this point in his career can slow down a little bit. They're both getting older. I get it.
Coach Steve Nelson gave his thoughts about talk that Crawford should fight David Benavidez next. While it might seem like a bold idea, Nelson shut it down, calling it not realistic. He said some fights might look daring, but they're often just risky bets. Crawford's team is thinking long-term. They want smart legacy fights, not wild chances.
Unpack what just went on. Steve Nelson just said, and I'm paraphrasing because you guys heard it, link will be in the description. He just told you out his own mouth, he's like, fans are saying that Crawford should fight David Benavidez or a true 168-pounder. Doesn't make sense. Bud is after legacy, and then he said, and money. So this proves why I don't want to see this particular fight like some of y'all. He just told you. So this is what I call an advanced cherry pick. Now, I know some people, you're going to start crying. the reason I say advance, now it's not an advance, it's not a cherry pick in the normal sense of like, you know, because this would be an accomplishment if Bud can defeat somebody at a higher weight class without acclimating, right? So it's not the traditional cherry pick, but it is still an advance, or this is what I'm calling it, an advanced cherry pick, because his own teammate and friend Steve Nelson is telling you there's no reason for Bud to fight a true 168 pounder. He started off by saying Canelo Alvarez started off smaller, like a welterweight earlier in his career at 54, and then made his way up to 68. So that lets me know the mentality from Team Crawford is Canelo, we know he has shown signs of slippage and being a little bit older in his recent fights. Can't put away Munguia, and some other guy did, Surase.
Boxing Boy Showbiz the adult pushed back on claims that Crawford's only major win was over Errol Spence Jr. He reminded fans of other big victories like Sean Porter. His main point, it's not just one night that makes Crawford great, it's his steady run of wins. He said one great fight doesn't tell the full story.
Spaceman Films. What up, Biz? Who you got? Canelo Crawford.
Yeah, got Canelo. I heard the punches that he hit Charlo with. I don't know if Crawford can absorb those punches. I know he's a great man and a great warrior. But you come from 147 to put on a better fight than Charlo. I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody can do better than Charlo did last night.
Do skill really pay the bill? Because that would be tested.
Pay the bill. That's why Canelo's good for too.
Veteran boxer Nonito Donaire focused on Crawford's slick footwork. He said this movement might be the weapon that helps him beat Canelo. Crawford's fast feet and smart placement help him dodge hits and frustrate foes. Coming from someone who's fought at the top, Donaire's opinion means something, that he sees footwork as the key.
You know, Canelo's a stronger guy, the bigger guy, but in the fight with a guy that moves around, and if Crawford uses his skills and his legs and his technique and just his ability, I think he can win. He can win the fight in decision, as long as he doesn't get hit with those big shots from Canelo.
Canelo Alvarez's latest fight against William Skull raised eyebrows for all the wrong reasons.
Canelo's most recent fight against William Skull had fans confused. The energy was low and neither man threw many punches. Canelo looked slow and off form, leaving some to wonder if he's lost a step. Now with age, and we're catching up, many people are asking if he can still handle a younger, hungry guy like Crawford.
After really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday night show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Caleb Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, but he's not been able to step on the gas and finish them. He's not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Alvarez, come July, be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but you know, he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes.
That's all we've got for this video. Don't forget to stick around, more updates are coming soon.